Let's see if this is working. Hello. I'm just waiting to see if this is actually working. It should be working now. Hello everyone and welcome to my live stream. We are going to continue building on this little thing here. I'm just trying to get everything to work here with the technique, and I see my husband says I'm live, so that's perfect. Anyway, welcome to the live stream today. Hi everyone. We are going to continue to build on this cat cafe garden. This one. And we will see how that's gonna go. Hello Irene, nice that it is working. Anyway, we are continuing here. We have made quite a lot on this house by now, and it is quite fun to make it. Let me just move it a bit. There we go. So I painted the chairs here off camera, I think. So they are now this nice light yellow color, and I made the little sign here also offline. So that's nice. And then of course we have the little table for the chairs. So we got that done, and there are these two, I think it's actually tables that we also made. So we also have this little shelf unit, and today we are going to make the things for this little shelf unit so we can get that in place. But let me just take these furnitures here, the loose ones, and put them to the side so that I don't break them by accident. I don't know about you guys, but here it's really hot, so I have a little fan going around over here. I hope it's not annoying for the sound that it is standing right there, but otherwise please tell me. We have the grass that I still didn't glue on. I am going to wait with that for some time. So we have so many things to do on this little build here. Let me just do like this. So we have the front of this little cat cafe, the cat toys here, and the little cabin, and of course the furnitures that we made until now, and this little thing. I'm going to take this one and place this to the side somewhere where I have room for it. Actually, I'm gonna keep this one here. There we go. Okay, before we start, I wanted to show you that this set has only 2 cats in it. It has this one, and it has this little one. Oops. So you can see they're pretty small for cats. Especially compared with everything, they're actually pretty small, but that's fine. But we have 2 cats for this whole cat cafe. So I actually went on Temu. Let's not talk about Temu because there are so many things that can be said about it and things that cannot be said about it. So let's not talk about that. But I found these cats here on Temu, and I actually think they're pretty cute. They're a little bigger. That was why I did this. So this one is more like a kitten, but these are actually made kind of the same way and in the same materials. And let's see, so that was one of them. There is 9 in this little set here. This is more like a dog to me than a cat. Or a white fox. It has a very weird face for a cat. Then we have this one. I think this is really cute. I might not use all of these for the little house I think this one is actually very good in the size compared to the original. This one as well. Then we have this little guy, a little thick one. Then we have this one. It looks like a squirrel with that tail here. Also quite fitting in the size. We have this angry little white cat. I actually think that might be a little big, but we'll see. And then we have this gray one that just looks like it has been painted. It's very shiny compared to these, so I might not use this one. But we will see. So these two was the original cats from this set. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that I got quite a lot of cats now, because I want more cats in this house than they provided. So let me put that to the side. Okay, let's start building. So we have a lot to do. So let's just open up the booklet here and see where we're gonna start. Let's see. We made the chairs, we made these chairs, we made the sign, so that's all fine. We made that cabin and these chairs. No, that is still tables. So now we are here with the coffee cup and the coffee pot and the coffee grinder, the coffee, and so on. So I actually did prepare that a tiny bit. And I popped in some parts here that we're going to use right now. So let's see, I have this piece here for the coffee pot, this one. And they actually want us to glue something here on the bottom, but I think that doesn't really, that's not really necessary, because it's gonna be glued to the tabletop anyway, so I'm just gonna leave that. But then we have all of these small pieces here. And they all have a number engraved here, or actually almost all of them have. Then we have this little bead, and we have a few metal wire thingies that we are going to need. So let's start with the coffee pot. Let me put that to the side. So we need this one. And we need this piece. We need this. And I think that's it. And then we need 3 of these with the number C182. 3 of those. And I need to find my glue. I have my tacky glue in this one. This is a piece I got from a hobby kit that I got, and I like this glue container. The glue, I got rid of that and I put my tacky glue in this one because I really like this little container. Anyway, we are going to glue these 3 together, stack them up. So I'm just gonna place one on top of the other, and I'm just gonna squeeze them a bit together here. I think this is supposed to look like a heating pad or something for the coffee pot. Then we have this little guy, and we're going to glue this one on top of this little metal bead here. So I'm just gonna do that. Try to place it quite even. I think that is pretty good. Now for the wire. Let's see, they want me to have 1.3 centimeters. Give me something that can cut. Just a second. Taking my plier here. So they want me to have 1.3 centimeter, and I can see my mat here behind everything, so I know this is 1.3. And I'm gonna go for another plier here, because we are going to bend this into a tiny handle. Let's see. I'm bending it into a U shape. There we go. And then that's gonna go on the side of this coffee pot. I'm not sure that this glue will, yeah, it should be. Otherwise I will have to find my my other glue, my super glue. So I'm just gonna pop some glue on this little handle here, and then try to put that here on the side of this little pot. Try to make it a little more straight. There we go, I like that. Let me place that in here. So that it will stay, nope. I had hoped it would stay there. Let's try again. This can be really hard to glue together, but I am trying here. We need the spout, so it wants us to cut an angle of this one. I'm trying to. I think that worked. And then an angle of the other end, and it's like under a centimeter. So I'm trying to do that. Let's see if that's working. It was. Perfect. For the spout of the little teapot here, or a coffee pot. I think it's a coffee pot as it's a coffee cafe. I'm gonna leave that for a second, and then I'm gonna jump to that little coffee grinder. So we need the, I'm gonna put this a little to the side. There we go. So we need the C18-2 for this one, and we need the C18-3 for this one. No, C18-1 and C18-3. And these two are gonna be glued together. So we're gonna stack those. Try to get it into the middle and squeeze it together. So here it's really hot. How is it by you guys? It has been almost too hot for me the last few days. Also, we had a lot of rain yesterday, but it was still so hot. So I'm just gonna take a sip. Yes. On that we need the bead. This one. So I'm going to pop some glue onto this little part. I might have to go closer here so you can see what I'm actually doing. Placing this little bead on top of that glue. Like that. And then on top of that we are going to glue that C18-2. I'm not sure you can see that. Can you see that? It has the number engraved here, so it's pretty easy to find that right number. And I'm gonna glue this one with the number down, I think. Well, actually we're gonna glue this one on top. Yeah, I'm gonna glue this one down. And I'm gonna glue that on top of the bead. Let's do this so you can see me placing that together. And then we are going to take this little part here. It has a tiny hole here, so it's easy to grab it. So I'm just gonna pop some glue here. Again, this is my tacky glue. And I am going to pop that here onto the top of this one, and now it's stuck. Of course it's stuck. It's so small. And I'm just trying to clean it up a bit. I know this will dry clear, but I don't want a blob there, so I am trying to get rid of any unnecessary glue. And try to make it straight as well. That's a bit difficult. I think right there. And then we need this little piece to go on top. So I'm gonna pop some glue on there and place that down here. I think it's too hot too. Oh, I'm happy I'm not the only one. Okay. Popping that on top. I'm just looking at this one because we did all that now. Okay, let's see if this one has dried enough for me to glue on the sprout. Again, I am gonna need these are some really tiny pieces, and normally that is fine by me, but this is really tiny. I might have to place this one somehow in something so that it can, there maybe, and then place the little sprouts, or what we call, nope, not working. And now I broke the handle off. Oh well. Let's try this again. I think I got it on there, and it's crooked. I'm just gonna leave it right there. I might have to find my super glue to get it to work, and for that I need to go to the side here just a second. I'll be right back. Just have to find my super glue. I'm back. Because I think we might have to just put a tiny dot of super glue here to make sure everything will stay together. The same here. Just a tiny dot bead of super glue, and then I hope that will stay together. So okay, next side, because we made this part and we made this part down here. Actually we need to glue it on there, so I'm just turning my page and looking. We need that piece. That's gonna be this one. that to the side. Let's see, that should be 1.3 centimeter, and again I can see my measurements here on the mat beneath this one, so it would be around here. Cut that one off. I need a new one for that because this is not working that good anymore. Then one end is going to be turned down in a 90-degree angle. See if I can show you. Can you see that? And the other end is going to be bent up in a 90-degree angle, like that. And then I'm just gonna make sure everything is straight. I think it is. And then one end is going down this little hole we have here. So I'm popping my tacky glue into the hole. Then I am going to take this little handle here, and I'm gonna pop a tiny bead of my super glue on there, and then place that into the tacky glue. That should make kind of an instant bond. That might be too much tacky glue. I'm just making sure everything will be connected here. So we have that little coffee stand here. Actually, I think I am going to turn this a tiny bit because I have these end pieces here and I don't like those. Oh well. I got one here as well. Anyway, that's how it's looked now. See if I can straighten it out a tiny bit. Whoops. There we go. For now, I'm just gonna leave that one. Then I am going to take my glue here and glue this little coffee pot in space. In place, not in space, on that little wood piece there. Actually, I'm thinking you are way too off there, so I am trying to go, let's just give me a second here. I'm trying to go a little closer. There you go, so you can see a little better what I'm doing here, because these are really small details. I'm still not sure what I'm gonna use that little one for. Oh yes, I know, I just saw here. It is the little drawer for the coffee. So this piece here is done. I am going to place that a bit to the side to make sure I'm not knocking it over. So I'm gonna pop a tiny bit of glue here, taking this little piece and placing that into my glue, trying to get it straight. There we go. That is the little drawer for the coffee. Then we have some tiny beads here, and that is actually all over now. That's gonna be our coffee in the coffee pots in a second, the coffee beans, but they want us to use one of these for the little handle here on the drawer. So I am going to pop some glue on there, lifting up my bead and trying to place it into the glue like that. See if I can show you right here. So that's a coffee grinder right now. I'm not done because I need this little thing here to be glued on top of that handle. But I think I am going to pop this a tiny bit to the side for now, because I need it to dry before we continue. Then there is this box here. I'm thinking of doing that one first. There's this one as well. No, that's the same. So they make it into a box, fold it together, fold it over, and then it looks like a little coffee bag. So let's take that and cut. So I'm just going to cut this little bag here out. Oops. And I'm gonna take it nice and easy. So sorry you have to to look at me cutting out the little box here. And there's 2 of them, so more than enough to cut out here. So tell me, what are you guys working on? Are you working on some language is hard. Are you working on something fun, or something miniature related, or something else crafty? Or are you just sitting and relaxing and watching me? It looks like I have to cut in here, like that. Oh yeah. And then up here. And there's one more little tiny cut here. Right there. And I'm always using my scissor when I'm bending stuff. So I'm lining up the line where I have to bend. And then I'm just rolling my thumb over the edge of that scissor. And then it's so easy to bend. So I'm just gonna do that everywhere where I need a tiny little bend here on this little bag. And come on. There we go. And then the top piece here is also going to need a tiny bend. And then it has these bends on the sides actually. I'm just gonna make them a tiny bit, not too much. Sorry about that. But that bend will be used later. So let's make this into the little box first. Okay. Let's see. Glue. Watching you live. Sitting and watching you live. Okay. So nothing major. That's understandable. I was also thinking if this weather is going to keep up, then I might not be able to make my live, because when it is hot, I don't really think that well. So now you understand why I have problem with the speech today. Okay, let's just keep this connection together for a second. There we go. Let's see, I'm gonna fold all these sides here down. And then I am popping a tiny bit of glue. And the trick here is to not use too much glue, because the more glue you use on connecting these small paper things, the longer time it will take for you to get it to dry. Let's see if I can get that one down here. Just trying to push everything together in the glue here. I am gonna leave that for a few seconds, and then I'm gonna make the next one. And these are both going into our little purple shelf. So we will finally get a little decoration into our coffee shop. I have a tiny garbage can standing here. So no, I'm not just throwing things on my table. I have it right here. Quite an old one, but it's still working. So I keep it around. It's nice while crafting that I just have a tiny place where I can throw all my garbage. Oh, that is not good. There we go. So this is the top of the little box or cap. Cast. What I'm talking about. The little box or bag. It's a bag of coffee beans, I think. So this little end piece here, and the last little corner, and I think I forgot this one, yes. And then again I am bending this over my scissor. There we go. And the next one. And so on. And this one. And the top. There we go. And then the side ones from the outside and in. Just kind of making a small indent so I know exactly where they're going to go. Straighten it out a bit. Glue on the side flap and glue the sides together here. Let's see if I did that right. I did. Closing off the bottom part. Sorry about that. Popping in a tiny bit of glue. And I just found a cat hair. Go away. And making sure that the bottom here is glued really nicely together. Leaving that to dry for a bit. Just taking a sip. So that was the red one, so let's go back to the green one. So we are going to pop these sides together and then put a tiny bit of glue here on this little flap and glue that down over the opening. Making this little bag of coffee beans. I'm just going to leave that there for a few seconds, then I can go back to this one. Popping a tiny bit of tacky glue on there. And maybe a dot of my super glue. Again, because this gives a better bond and a quicker bond. And popping this little piece on top of there. And now this little coffee grinder is all done. I think that turned out really, really cute. And we have the coffee pot right here as well. Also really, really cute. So it's going pretty well. And now we are working on those two. So we have the grinder done. Now we need the coffee beans. And for that I need this piece of paper the tube, and then I have these two pieces. I think that's the lid for the coffee cup. Let's for the can of beans. It's the lid of the can of the beans. So it wants me to cut 3 pieces of around 8 millimeters in the length. I am going to do that here off camera because I have my measuring right over here, so I'm just gonna cut it, squeezing it a bit together and then just cutting through. It takes a tiny bit effort. Yes, there we got one more, and the last piece. Sorry about this, but it's my cutting mat I have here, and it's I have it under this blue mat because I think this cutting mat pattern here will just take the focus away from all the things that we're doing here. Let me try this one on here. Yes, it fits perfect on the tube. Perfect. Okay, so I need to cut out all these things here. First, the small labels. So I'm just gonna carefully cut these labels out. One, two, and the last one. So I have the labels now. Perfect. And then I need these circles here for the bottoms of the jars, cans. Oh, I hate cutting in circles because it's never gonna end up as a circle when I cut it by hand. But I don't have a circle cutter that big. So I'm just gonna do my best here. You won't see them at all when it's done, so I think it's okay. And actually I don't think it really is needed, but it's making it easier to put the coffee beans into that one without the lid on. There we go. Let's take it one by one here. So a tiny bit of glue here on the end of the tube. I'm not sure it will work on this plastic, but I hope. Gluing one of these on each of these small pieces of tube. And the last one. There we go. So that's the bottom of those. Now I want to do the last one of these boxes here, or bags with coffee beans. So I'm just gonna fold that together, and again I'm just gonna pop a tiny bit of glue on there and put that around at the top and let that glue together. So that I have these coffee bags that's gonna stay here on the shelf. Right here. 2 of those. We're actually gonna do a lot here today. Yeah. Let's see, I think this one is dry enough for me to work with it. So they want me to glue this coffee sign around the pot. So I'm just gonna pop a tiny bit of glue on here. Actually, I should have rounded it first. And I'm gonna make sure that I have it the right way around. And gluing it around and onto itself. Oh, that went pretty good. Making sure it's gonna stay. I'm gonna do it like I normally do here. I'm just gonna give it a tiny bit here, because then you have the rounding and it's easier to glue it on with the roundings. Let's do the next one. The bottom down and the text the right way around, gluing it around the bead of this little piece of plastic. So one more, and then the last piece here, checking how it is turned around, and then popping a tiny bit of glue on there, making sure that I did it right, and then popping it around the little straw piece here. Making sure everything is sitting as I want it. So this one is not quite as tall as the other two, so I think I'm gonna take the other two to pop the lid on, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, because I don't have any place for the lid on the little one. Perfect, but I want to glue the lids on just in case. I don't want to move things around when it's first done. I want it to be in place. I have a few doll houses here, and my biggest one, I did not glue anything in place at the first place. And every time I stand by the dollhouse, something is falling down, and I gave up, and I'm starting to glue some of the things in there because I don't want to take stuff from the floor of the dollhouse every time I stand by it, so I'm starting to glue things in place. No one is playing with it anyway, so I think it's okay. So we have that one, and then we have the little open can here and the beads, because we need some of those in there. So I'm just gonna start with a little glue into the little jar here, and then trying to get some of these beads into the little jar. Okay, maybe everywhere else than into the jar. Well, let me do it like this instead. I think I might have too many here. So that's supposed to look like coffee beans. And none of them ended in the bag, so that is pretty good. There we go. Putting that to the side. If I put super glue on there, they will turn whitish, so I'm not gonna do that. I happily know that this is going to turn translucent when it's hardened, so I am going to pop in a tiny bit of my tacky glue here. Maybe try to squeeze it a little around here so I get it a little over everything here in the top of this, and then just hope it will be translucent enough for us to see the coffee beans. Maybe I should take a few more and pop into the glue so that I have a few tiny beads that's on top of everything in the glue, but not surrounded by the glue. Oh well, I'm trying. But that's our coffee. Yes, the shelf unit. That's hard to see here. That's what we're gonna put on there. So the coffee with the coffee beans, we are using that later for the table we have in there. But let's put together this little shelf first. So this little coffee thing is going to the side. And I have a cat here that wants to say hello. Just a second. Here he is. My big cat. Let me do it like this so you can really see him. So that my big cat. Say hello. Anyway, he just wanted to come and have some cuddles. I really love him. And he is purring. And he is cute. And now he's going down because I'm working. So that was my big cat. I have a smaller one as well. And he's somewhere around. Anyway, this little shelf here. I'm gonna place it upright. I think that's easier, maybe. Placing the first little coffee bag there. They want them to be standing in the other end, and I want to do it a little different, so I am placing these in this end of the little shelf. And then we need the two tin cans of coffee as well here on the shelves. So I'm just placing a tiny bit of glue, and then I am popping in the tin cans, and they're a little wider than the shelf, but that's okay. There we go. So that's the shelf all done now. Yay! That actually looks pretty good. Put that to the side. Bring the house. Bring the house. Bring the house. So this little one is gonna sit on this wall right here. You cannot see that. Give me a second and I will show you a bit better. I just need to take a look in this little book to see how high up on the wall it is gonna be sitting. And it's all the way up. Okay. It's all the way up. So let me do it a little better here. We're going to place it right here at the top. I'm just saving my things here. So again, I'm using my tacky glue. Gluing here on the back side of the little shelf. And of course I'm off-centered at the camera. Just popping in some dots of glues turning it around, making sure it is placed like I want it to, and then placing it here at the top of this wall. And I have a tiny bit of a glue glob right here. See if I can get that out. There we go. Don't want that in there. Yay! There's now a decorated piece in the house sitting right there. I actually think that is pretty neat. Oops. There it is. I like that. That looks really, really great. So that was this part. Let me put that to the side. Let's see. Not even an hour yet. So I think we can continue for a tiny bit. We need to make this little glass cabinet or something for this build, and for that I need a piece from over here. Let's see if I can find the right one. I don't think that is not the right one. Okay. Dum. These are not it. And it was not this piece. I needed the plastic, but not this one. Okay, let's see if I can find the thing we need. It says A12, A10, 988. Okay, so that's the pieces that we need. Cut. So that's a big piece of plastic. Then there is this tinier one. See if that is something special. I don't think so. Whoops. There's more here. So many things for this little set here. So I am going to just cut out these roughly, because we need those. And then these 3 pieces, I actually think they are the exact same piece, but we will see in a minute. Let me see. I actually think number 8 is a tiny bit bigger, so let me cut one of these out. I only need one template, so that's all fine. There we go. So I have my template and I have my piece of plastic here. And let's start with this one. Sorry about that. I'm way too often off camera here. So that's the first piece. And I'm just checking here. I need 2 of the 08s. 109. So one of these. There we go. And then 2 of this one. One. And the other one, oh, that was crooked. I will have to address that. Come on. I think that's it. These should be alike. They're not. And then, well, that's good enough for me. So I got the 2 small 08s here, the 09 here, and then this one that I am going to place on top of the paper. And I'm gonna find my knife here, and then I am carefully scoring without cutting through the paper or the translucent sheet here, just scoring, and then I should be able to bend right where I scored it. And the other end here as well. And that's my husband, you can hear. I got a little glue on there, I don't want that. So I have this shape here, I don't know if you can see that. It's like a U shape if I turn it this way around. So that's this part. Then I need these 2 parts that I have lying around somewhere right here. And let's see, that is C184. Yes. And they are glued on the 208 pieces here. So I'm taking this one and just cutting off these small pieces that makes the part stick. And I actually think there's 3 of these instead of 2. See if I can get this one out. Come on. Come on out. Perfect. And this one might have a tiny bit of a little jibber there. Get rid of that. So this is gonna be glued on this piece of plastic here. Does it say on which side? Nope, just opposite. I don't think that's making any difference. Okay, let me see if I can do this. So I'm just gonna pop up some glue on this piece, and then placing this, placing this little plastic side here in there. Now I have glue all over, but I think it's in there. Okay, this is a difficult build. Doing the same here on the other side. Come on. Placing this one in there. And that needs to harden before I could continue, because I need to glue everything here together somehow. I think this is actually supposed to go on the outside of this little piece. I'm not sure that's possible. Let me just look here. No, it wanted to be glued on the opposite way, I think. Note the direction of the plastic. Yes, so they want it to be glued the other way around. Like this. And then until there. Okay, this is gonna be difficult. Trying to get this more in a 90-degree angle than it already is. That's actually pretty difficult. With plastic, it's either more than 90 degree or less than 90 degree. So they want me to glue that on here. Okay. I am going to try. I'm not sure how this is gonna work. I'm just trying to hold it in place, and I'm sorry that I'm so low at the bottom here of the picture frame. Let me put it up a little higher here. See if I can get this plastic to stay where I want it to. And glue. I should really not use second super glue, it's called, for this, but I'm trying with a tiny bead here on one side and a tiny bead right here, and then I'm hoping this will work for me, that it will stay in place. And then I'm supposed to glue this one on the other end of the plastic, like this, and then this one is the shelf going here in the middle. It's gonna be difficult. I'm not sure how to do this, but I'm going to try. Popping some glue on this piece and placing that here. Yes, I'm going low to see what I'm doing. And I glued the wrong place. That's pretty good. Oh man, I shouldn't have had the glue here at this spot here. But I need it here. So I'm trying again to place this one at the end here and hopefully that will work this time. Now that just need to glue. Ooh, and hardened. That was a bit difficult, that one. I'm just gonna take this piece and put it in the back here so I know where it is. Same with this one. There we go. So the little coffee grinder and the coffee pot. And then they actually want us to make some plates with these pieces here. So the red ones are 4 plates, and here you have a gold and a silver plate. So that is 6 plates together. I know I'm jumping here, but this needs to dry a tiny bit before I continue. So I am going to cut one of these plates. I'm not sure I'm gonna use these paper plates. I don't really like paper plates at all, but now I am going for one of them, and then we will see. Otherwise I might make a few plates of polymer clay that I can use instead of these. We will see. Again, it is not really going around when I have to cut, so I really hate cutting circles. Now let's see, I need to go down one of these lines here and then cutting the inside circle. And they want me to cut away that little end piece here. All the gray is going to be cut away like that. And then you want to cut here where you have these small lines. I'm not sure you can see it. Give me a second and I will show you. So I don't know if you can see, there is some small black lines here to cut in the all red part. So I'm cutting them, and then you're supposed to glue this together by putting a tiny bit of glue here on this tab and then forcing it, if I can, together until that seam. I'm trying to hold it together like that. Ooh. Let me see, we need one of these circles here. Again, I'm not good at cutting circles out. There we go. I got it, I got it. And then we need to bend up these small pieces here in the middle somehow. Maybe just make them a little flat. And then we glue on these red pieces here. Pop that on. And place that, whoops, in the middle. Does not want to do what I wanted to. There we go. I got it. Just a second, I will show you. And that is the plate that comes with the set here. It's actually pretty cute, but I think I might want to do it out of polymer clay because again, I'm not the big fan of paper plates. But it's actually turned out better than I thought it would. So I kind of do like it. So tell me, what do you think? Should I do these plates like they want me to? Or do you want me to make some plates of polymer clay? Because I think they would be holding up a bit better of polymer clay than of this paper. Actually, I think they're pretty sturdy. I don't know. What do you think? Do I need to make the plates myself, or do I continue with these plates off screen at some point? Let's see if I can place this little shelf into that little furniture here. That's gonna be difficult. So I am going to pop on some glue here on the edges. And at the end, I'm so happy that this tacky glue is drying translucent, so you don't see it when I'm done. And then I'm just trying to place it around the middle of this little shelf unit here. Trying to make it as straight as possible. I think that's great. Leave it like that. Let's take a look here. So we made the little cabin. Now we're actually supposed to make some food and stuff that goes on the plates, but I think I am going to wait with that for a few minutes, because I'm not sure I want to do much more today because I'm tired and I'm feeling the heat. But I'm thinking we could place these things already on the table, because this one is anyway opening with the front out. So if I place that, it would be nice and easy to find it next time. I found that there should be a coffee cup, a coffee cup with some coffee in there. So I'm just looking to see if I can find that somewhere. Here, I found it. A little coffee cup here. Wow. Actually, there's a lot of coffee cups, but I think it's this one. I'm just gonna look at the picture again. Yes, it's that one. There's 3 more coffee cups in there, so that's nice. Lots of coffee. And then we're going to place that on the table. Actually, I need that little, where did it go? Here. I need the little blue flower as well. Nah, I'm gonna wait with that one because that's standing in front of this little thingy. And I don't want that right now. So let me turn this a tiny bit and move these small things here out of the way, so I got room to work. So we have I'm just gonna do like that so you can see what I'm doing. So I have this little shelf unit that's not all dry yet, but it's been glued in so that it is open in the front. And I'm gonna do that right away, because this way I am not going to break it. So I'm just gonna pop some glue here onto the wood pieces, and then I am carefully going to place this here on the table. Right there. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's standing right here. It's right here. It's so hard to see because it's translucent. But it is there. It is there. Okay. Then the coffee pot and the coffee grinder is going to be standing on the table as well. Let me take the little coffee pot here first. So a tiny bit of glue on there. Oops. And then I'm gonna place that here on the table. In the corner, and I should have room for the little coffee mill to stand next to it. So I'm just gonna again pop a tiny bit of glue on the bottom of that one. And then, whoops, getting that here into the corner. Well, it's not gonna stand where they want it to, so it's gonna stand right here. That's looking nice anyway. So the coffee bean is up. Making sure I have the coffee sign in the front. Popping a tiny bit of glue at the bottom and placing that here on the table. Right there. And then we have the little coffee cup that I am going to place as well. This little one, it looks like there is someone that dropped a piece of whipped cream in there and didn't do a good enough job with that. But I'm placing that right here on the table and popping the lid on there. And let's see if I can show you a little better. Again, need to move everything when I change camera, but there it is on the little table. I think it looks really, really good. Let me go back again. There you go. So that's it. We now got a few things in the little cat cafe. So the next time we need some food to be popped in there, and the cat, so the food is right here on the plates, and then the cat tower, we need to do that as well. I actually think it's turning out really, really cool. There's still a lot to do and a lot of things that I need to make sure I can make. I actually have some more plastic here that I was thinking of gluing onto these door fronts, because I am a little annoyed that these do not have any glass in there. I almost broke it off, so now I will have to put a tiny bit of glue here just to make sure everything will stay in place. There we go. Just a tiny bit of glue. And a little excess also. Just making sure I have only what I need on there. So I was thinking of taking a piece of paper here to kind of measure length and width and stuff like that of this little window. And this is not in the how-to, so this is my idea, and it's around this tall. There we go. So that should be the inside of the window. That fits pretty good. So I'm just gonna take this clear plastic that I have here. This is actually a what you call those, a pocket for a hot laminator, so a laminator pocket that I just laminated, and that will work perfect for the windows. And the reason I am using this piece instead of what is in the box is because I don't know if there is enough if I take for these windows from the box set. So I am just making these of this laminator piece here. There we go. And I have glue everywhere, so I don't need this or that. And I have my 3 windows here. This is actually a tiny bit too tall, so I'm just gonna cut a tiny bit off, making sure it is fitting nicely. It is. Taking my tacky glue, making sure that especially the corner has a little of glue. There we go. I'm placing that here on the inside of my little window. There we go, and I'm gonna do that with the other pieces as well. I have glue everywhere. I don't want that on this little piece, please. Get off. Come on. Oh well. It's because I have the right glue everywhere. Okay. So especially the corners. Grabbing it. And I'm gonna pop it in here and place it. Uh-oh. My coffee pot is in the way. Okay. The little coffee pot is standing, or the coffee grinder is standing in the corner, so it's a bit in the way for this piece of plastic. So I'm just trying again here. There we go. That's better. And then the last piece, I'm just gonna cut a tiny bit of the top here. Again, in the corners. And I got a little too much, I think. Placing that into here because that's the other window. Oh, come on. I made this a tiny bit too wide, so I need to cut a little of the side here. And then try again. There we go. Now it fits. And again, I'm happy that this dries clear, so it's not so visible that I have a little too much glue here and there, but I actually think that's better because now we have a actual window in there, and I really like that a lot. So anyway, I am going to stop today. You guys are very, very quiet, and I am tired of the heat, and I think we did do quite a lot of fun stuff today, so I think that's good for today. And of course, I will see you next week in another build. Ta-da! And that will be back to my normal daily thingies. And I will be on here again live the third Friday in August, being ready to say hello to everyone. Anyway, I will end for today. I had a lot of fun with this. Sadly, there was only a few watching, and anyway, I hope you guys have a nice time. I had a lot of fun with this one, and I will see you in a week. Tak Irene, og vi ses.